Good morning. My name is Erin Rogers. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to the weekly service of Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church. To learn more about our congregation and the many virtual activities currently available, please visit bbuuc.org. We are so glad you have joined us today. Today is May 2nd. Did you know that on or around May 1st, pagans in the Northern Hemisphere celebrate Beltane? Beltane is the time directly between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. It is considered the beginning of summer or the height of spring. This is the time of year that is abundant with life. We celebrate fertility, youth, and creativity. Flowers and community are both symbols that capture the essence of Beltane. That is why we will also be learning about and participating in Unitarian Universalism's own flower communion ceremony. In today's service, we will learn about the flower communion during the story for all ages, followed by the Reverend Trisha Parker's sermon on Beltane. And finally, we will end with our own virtual flower communion. I hope you enjoy today's service. Today's chalice reading comes from Jennifer McLaughlin, like the first hint of green. As the first hint of green begins to peek through the barren ground, as that little sprig grows into a healthy stem, as that stem grows into a stalk and forms a bud, as that bud slowly opens with each new day to form a yellow daffodil. Let us be like that first hint of green, renewed by the warmth of the sun's rays and ready to emerge with a new energy, ready to face the day. We light this chalice to bring a glimmer of that warmth into our space.
Hello, and welcome to the Wonder Box. Today is a special service for us. We celebrate the Flower Communion. What is the Flower Communion and why is it important? I'm going to share with you a story named A Plain and Simple Beauty that will explain the what, the how, and the why behind this uniquely UU celebration. The story comes from A Lamp in Every Corner, our Unitarian Universalist storybook by Janine Grossmeyer. This is a true story about real people in our faith. And it begins in the city of Prague, in the land of Czechoslovakia, and the year 1923, a time between the two world wars. And there was a church. But the building didn't look much like a church. Some churches have towers with bells that ring out over the land. Some churches have tall spires that reach up to the sky. Some churches have massive doors of carved wood or enormous windows of stained glass with colored light shining through. Some churches have great organs with hundreds of pipes, with small ones like drinking straws, all the way up to huge ones that touch the ceiling. Some churches have statues or pictures or candles or chalices. This church had none of those things. It had no bells, no spires, no stained glass windows. It had no organ to make beautiful music. It didn't even have a piano. It had no carvings of wood or statues of stone. It had no candles or chalices. It had no flowers. The church did have some things. It had 4 walls, a ceiling, and a floor. It had a door and a few windows. It had some hard wooden chairs. But that was all, plain and simple. Except the church also had people who came to it every Sunday, and they were the most important part of the church. Because without people, a church, any church, is just a building, no matter how tall its spires or how loud its bells. We have a plain and simple church, the people declared, because we are a plain and simple people. We need nothing more. The church also had one other important thing. It had a minister, and his name was Norbert Chapek. He had been a minister at the Plain and Simple Church for 2 years. Every Sunday, Minister Chapek went to church and he spoke to the people while they listened, sitting quiet and still in those hard wooden chairs. When he was done speaking, the people talked a little bit among themselves and then they went home. And that was all. No music, no candles, no food, not even coffee and cookies. Minister Chapek had wondered sometimes if there might be something, perhaps just a little something more. He wrote some songs and the people sang them, but nothing else came to mind. So the church went on as plain and as simple as before. Springtime came to the city of Prague and the land of Czechoslovakia in the year 1923, and Norbert Chapek went for a stroll. The rains had come and the birds were singing and flowers were blooming all over the land. The world was beautiful. Then an idea came to him, simple and clear, plain as the day. The next Sunday, he asked all the people of the church to bring a flower or a budding branch or even a twig. Each person was to bring one. What kind? They asked. What color? What size? You choose, he said. Each of you choose what you like. And so on the next Sunday, which was the first day of summer, the people came with flowers of all different colors and sizes and kinds. There were yellow daisies and red roses. There were white lilies and blue asters, dark-eyed pansies and light green leaves, pink and purple, orange and gold. There were all those colors and more. Minister Chapek spoke to the people while they listened, sitting quiet and still in those hard wooden chairs. These flowers are like ourselves, he said. Different colors, different shapes, different sizes, each needing different kinds of care, but each beautiful, each important, and each special in its own way. When he was done speaking, the people talked a bit among themselves, and then they each chose a different flower from the vase before they went home. And that was all. And it was beautiful, as plain and simple as the day. I wonder, do you realize how unique, how special, and how loved each of you are? How together we create a beautiful bouquet. And with that, happy flower communion. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be filled with love. Until the next time.
At this time in our service, we pause to reflect on the milestones, the joys and sorrows, the change in our lives, those who need our healing thoughts. Community is deepened by sharing with each other what is in our hearts so that we can give and receive support as we journey together as a faith community. We light a flame of joy for all of our congregation who gathered on the church grounds last weekend for the Come Paint a Chalice with Me event. It was a beautiful day and a fantastic creative group of chalice painters who enjoyed being together again. We light a flame to celebrate the upcoming birthday of Ben A., whose special day is on May 4th. We light a flame in recognition of BBUC's 31st anniversary this week on May 6th. On that date, in 1990, Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Society, as it was initially named, held our first official Sunday morning worship service in Orange Park after months of preliminary organizational meetings. Our flame illuminates the community that continues to evolve from those early planted seeds of liberal religion, open hearts, open minds, service, friendship, support, and love. Happy anniversary, BBUC. Our final flame is ignited for all the joys, sorrows, and milestones that remain unspoken.
The purpose of the church is to encourage all who gather there to grow more generous in spirit and in action. While our sanctuary is closed, we remind ourselves that our church is more than the building where we meet. We are the congregation, and even in times of difficulty, when we aren't able to be with one another, we remain committed to supporting our mission and ministry, our staff and facility, and our shared values. We are grateful for your generosity in pledging and supporting our community. We are also pleased to announce the May kickoff of our capital campaign, Paying It Forward Beyond Mortgage to Mission, to pay off all of our loans no later than November 1st of this year. This will free up substantial annual expenses in our operating budget that will support our programs and grow our ministries of love and care, serving the missions of BBUUC. The exciting news is that there has been a very generous anonymous offer of $50,000 in matching funds, which is a tremendous step in reaching our goal of $112,932. Details have been sent to all of our members and friends, and we hope that each of you will consider donating to this campaign, one that will provide our congregation with greater resources to our present and our future. During May, your donations to our Share the Plate offertory will support Rethreaded. Their mission is to renew hope, reignite dreams, and release potential for survivors of human trafficking locally and globally through business. They provide a second chance at life through employment in different facets of the company, including production, inventory, sales, marketing, and finance administration. They also operate as a distribution company that sells products from like-minded companies that also employ women who have found freedom from the sex trade. Rethreaded is in the process of acquiring a new facility, 36,000 square feet of building space in the historic Springfield area. The new building is almost 10 times the size of their current space, which will allow them to expand their survivor staff, boost the number of career tracks they offer, and increase production capacity. This will ensure their economic future and allow them to never say no to survivors of human trafficking. Please use the Rethreaded donate link on your YouTube channel, or you can make a direct donation through the donate button at rethreaded.com. Thank you for your generosity. Today's service, titled Beltane, is brought to you by the Reverend Trisha Parker. Reverend Trisha Parker was ordained in 2015 by the Aquarian Tabernacle Church and holds a Bachelor of Ministry degree from Woolston Steen Theological Seminary, where she currently teaches tarot and divination, ritual construction, intro to astrology, and magical herbalism. She is a proud member of Northeast Florida Pagan Leadership Coalition and coordinates Phoenix Festivals, a 5-day, 4-night neo-pagan education festival held twice a year in Gilchrist County. Please visit Wiccan Church of Florida at www.wcfatc.org for details. Now, join us as we listen to our very own Caitlin Reagan while she sings The Earth, the Water, the Fire, the Air as an introduction to Reverend Parker's service.
The earth, the water, the fire, the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. Return, 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 return. The earth, the water, the fire, the air. Return, 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 return.
I want to thank you for inviting me to speak today. It is an honor to share information about Wicca and the great festival of Beltane. Beltane is second only to Samhain, or Halloween, in its popularity and occurs exactly 6 months after Samhain. Samhain honors the dead, and in contrast, Beltane honors life. Today I would like to describe the ritual history of Beltane, point out a few of its popular activities, and show the significance of the timing of this late spring celebration. Wicca has its origins in Great Britain, and many of its festivals are centered around the weather and agricultural cycles as they happen in the British Isles. Those of us who practice in other parts of the world continue to follow the Wiccan Wheel of the Year because it symbolizes a process that we can all identify with, that of birth, growth, death, and rebirth. In early agricultural societies, the Beltane occurred during the time of the year when people begin to shift their focus from the inward individual survival mode of the winter to an outward communal cooperative mode of the summer. Spring fever takes place, and the desire to get out and meet with humans in a great celebration of life is very strong. Any one of us can identify with the need to get out after being quarantined for over 14 months, right? But can you imagine being quarantined without the benefit of the internet, television, food delivery services, Amazon Prime, or cell phones? Imagine being stuck in the same spot with the same people through the winter months, and how exciting it would be to travel miles or maybe even days to celebrate the coming summer and to let your hair down. Longer days with warmer temperatures, seeds sprouting in fresh turned soil, animals with their new babies. These are all signs that encourage humans to celebrate the beauty and the physical delights of this time of year. Many of the names of Wicca's great festivals are Welsh or Celtic. Beltane is a Gaelic word meaning bell's fire. Bel is the shortened version of Belinus, who is the Celtic god of light. He is also called the Shining One or Bright One. He is a pastoral god and one of the most popular deities of the Celts. Traditionally, the celebration started on Beltane Eve with the lighting of the bell fires on an elevated landscape. This was done to petition Belinus to shine his light and to heat the land. The blaze also served as a beacon for travelers. And over the next few days, cattle would be driven through the bellfire smoke for purification before they are led off to their summer grazing pastures where the grasses are now green and nutrient dense. People too would take turns jumping the bellfire, believing the smoke would heal or purify their bodies. Rumor has it that the jump would be done sky-clad or without clothing for the practical reasons of not wanting to burn their precious festival garments. There's another reason that Beltane has its traditions that take place in early May, and that has to do with astrology. Wicca is a nature-based religion that honors the movement of the sun and the moon through the skies. All Wiccan fire festivals, or Sabbats, are timed to the sun and its placement in the zodiac. Beltane officially takes place when the sun is in 15 degrees Taurus, which occurs this year on May 6th. However, most cultures and most witches celebrate Beltane on May 1st. Why is this significant? Well, it's significant because of the energy to merge with partners and community to ensure a return of investment is very strong during this time of year. Let me explain. Taurus is a fixed earth sign, and if any of you know people born under this sign, you know that Taurians are dependable, solid people concerned with security and wealth. And in agricultural societies, security meant plenty of children, lots of food in the larder, and healthy livestock in the pens. This represents a return of investment. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of sensuality, fertility, and love. This represents the urge to merge. So as you can see, when the sun is at the height of Taurus, both love and security are on our minds. In fact, one very old ritual symbolizing this effect is the sacred marriage of the god and goddess, or the marriage of the sovereign to the land. This sacred marriage was often enacted as a fertility psychodrama, a form of sympathetic magic, which would ensure the fertility of crops, livestock, and the kingdom, thus providing for the well-being of all people. Cuneiform of Sumerian text found at Nippur, and Nineveh describe the religious beliefs of Mesopotamians and include the invocation of Inanna, the fertility goddess, who ritually joined with the king in the sacred marriage rites. These ancient artifacts date back to 1800 to 1600 BCE. It is apparent that the connection between the gods and humans and the land was very important to prehistoric and early historic civilizations. Though today land is no longer part of the equation, Beltane is a very popular day for Wiccan hand fastings, which is a commitment ritual, or marriages. Beltane today is also more well known for the maypole rather than the sacred marriage. Ronald Hutton, a professor of pre-Christian and contemporary pagan history, concluded that the earliest maypoles were erected as signs that the happy season of warmth and comfort had returned. To many Wiccans, the maypole represents the projective energy needed to manifest life, and that the maypole dance represents the physical energies needed to bring about the next generation of living things. Dancing around the maypole, the weaving in and out, the dancers enact the consummation of the great wedding. In the good old days, an equal count of men and women would circle each other in opposite directions, and when the ribbons were so close that the dancers could no longer move, the couples who ended up facing each other would run off into the forest in an action called greenwooding. Think of how the gene pool would benefit. Today, the maypole dance has become a colorful and beautiful art form that is performed all over the world for many different reasons, performed by children, adolescents, and adults, and is quite a bit of fun. Other activities that took place during Beltane celebration were sporting events such as archery shoots and sword fights. There'd be music and Morris dances, colorful parades, drinking and feasting, and the weaving of flowers for crowns and wreaths to be worn by the young women or presented as offerings to local deities. This custom is similar to Floralia, a 3-day religious practice held April 28th to May 1st, during the classical era of the Roman civilization dating back to about 240 BCE. Floralia, the Feast of Flowers, is a celebration dedicated to the goddess Flora, the Roman goddess of flowers, vegetation, and fertility. This celebration of unabashed pleasure-seeking was held as a petition to Flora so she would protect spring blossoms. Floral wreaths adorned heads, horses, and houses. So as you can see, there's a long history and many lessons woven into the celebration of Beltane. And despite many attempts in history to outlaw the Sabbath, May Day activities and flower festivals are still held in many cities around the world in early May. Before I leave you with a lively song, I would like to bless you all with the Beltane spirit of life and love, and may your hearts be filled with the beauty of the parade of flowers we will soon enjoy. Blessed be and great day to you.
Now we are going to do the Unitarian Universalist Flower Communion in a virtual way. I hope you enjoy the way we have done this. But a little bit about the Flower Communion first. The Unitarian Universalist Flower Communion, which we are about to celebrate, was originated in 1923 by Dr. Norbert Čapek. Actually, it's pronounced Čapek, founder of the modern Unitarian movement in Czechoslovakia. On the last Sunday before the summer recess of the Unitarian Church in Prague, all the children and adults participated in this colorful ritual, which gives concrete expression to the humanity-affirming principles of our liberal faith. When the Nazis took control of Prague in 1940, they found Dr. Čapek's gospel of the inherent worth and beauty of every human person to be, as Nazi court records show, too dangerous to the Reich for him to be allowed to live. Dr. Čapek was sent to Dachau, where he was killed the next year during a Nazi medical experiment. The gentle man suffered a cruel death, but his message of human hope and decency lives on through his flower communion, which is widely celebrated today. It is a noble and meaning-filled ritual we are about to recreate. This service includes the original prayers of Dr. Čapek to help us remember the principles and dreams for which he died. In the following virtual ceremony, we will be sharing flowers from our own backyard or from our own churchyard. We will not be able to have a communal pot, take one home for us, but we will be able to share in seeing each other and our community and the individuality within our church. We celebrate each other. And with that, I would like to consecrate these images, these photos that you sent in. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of us all are needed to do thy work in this world. The Communion Prayer by Norbert Chapek. In the name of Providence, which implants in the sea the future of the tree and in the hearts of men and women, the longing for people living in love. In the name of the highest, in whom we move, and who makes the mother and father, the brother and sister, what they are. In the name of sages and great religious leaders who sacrifice their lives to hasten the coming of peace and justice, let us renew our resolution, sincerely to be real brothers and sisters, regardless of any kind of bar which estranges one from another. In this holy resolution, may we be strengthened, knowing that we are God's family, that one Spirit, the Spirit of love, unites us, and may we endeavor for a more perfect and more joyful life. Amen. And now it's time for closing words. The Four-Element Blessing by Eric Williams, in the spirit of Beltane. May the firmness of the earth be yours. May the flow of the water be yours. May the freedom of the air be yours. May the fierceness of the fire be yours. May all the gifts of this life, the below and the above, be with you now and remain with you always. Namaste. Blessed be. Go now in peace.